Have you ever felt invisible, like no one notices your effort, your dreams, or the fire burning inside you? Maybe you're doing everything right, working hard, staying consistent, but the world remains silent. Here's the truth: the silence isn't punishment, it's preparation. Because when you focus on you, quietly, steadily, faithfully, the time will come when the focus will be on you. Step 1, self-discipline is the silent builder. Self-discipline is the silent builder, the invisible architect behind every extraordinary life. It's not loud, it doesn't seek attention, and it doesn't demand praise, but it quietly constructs the foundation upon which every great dream stands. Most people crave results, but very few are willing to embrace the process that leads there. Discipline doesn't give you instant satisfaction, it gives you inner strength. It's the art of choosing what you want most over what you want now. It's the inner voice that whispers, "Keep going," when everything else tells you to stop. In a world obsessed with shortcuts, self-discipline remains the rarest form of power, the kind that doesn't just change circumstances but transforms character. When you decide to discipline your mind, your emotions, and your habits, you step into a realm where excuses no longer rule. You start realizing that every small choice counts: what you eat, how you think, how you spend your time. Discipline turns chaos into clarity. It makes you do what must be done even when you don't feel like doing it. And that's where transformation happens. Not in grand moments of motivation, but in quiet decisions made in solitude over and over again. Discipline teaches you to trust yourself. It teaches you that consistency, even in small doses, builds unstoppable momentum. It's not about perfection. It's about showing up when it's inconvenient, uncomfortable, and unseen. The most powerful people in the world aren't the ones with the loudest voices. They're the ones who mastered themselves when no one was watching. They learned to silence distractions, control impulses, and turn pain into purpose. Discipline doesn't eliminate emotion, it directs it. It channels frustration into fuel and turns fear into focus. Each day you practice it, your will grows stronger, your confidence deeper, and your purpose clearer. You begin to feel a quiet strength rising inside you. A strength that doesn't need validation because it knows its own worth. There will be days when discipline feels heavy, when the results seem far away, and the rewards invisible. But those are the days that define you, because while others are waiting for motivation, you are moving through dedication. And every time you do that, every time you choose to stay consistent, you're building something permanent, a foundation of greatness that no one can take away, because it was built by your own disciplined hands. Step 2, your work will speak before you do. Your work will speak before you do, because real success doesn't need noise, it needs proof. The world may ignore your words, but it cannot ignore your results. Every late night, every unseen effort, every quiet moment of persistence adds up to something powerful. Credibility. When you stay consistent long enough, your actions start to create a voice louder than any speech you could ever give. You don't have to announce your dreams to everyone. You just have to build them, piece by piece, in silence. Eventually, the work you've done becomes your reputation. People might forget what you said, but they will never forget what you did. There's something unshakable about a person whose results speak for them. You can feel their presence before they even enter the room. That kind of power doesn't come from arrogance. It comes from discipline, humility, and relentless focus. It's earned, not declared. When you put your heart into your craft, your work becomes a reflection of your character. It tells a story about your patience, your perseverance, and your faith. Words can be doubted, but results cannot be denied. That's why you must keep going, even when no one claps, even when no one notices. Because one day, the very people who overlooked you will be forced to listen, not to your words, but to the undeniable evidence of your effort. The journey to mastery is not glamorous. It's filled with repetition, with trials, with moments when you question if anyone will ever see what you're doing. But every single hour you invest, every sacrifice you make, is shaping something that will one day speak for itself. Your work becomes your legacy, your silent ambassador to the world. It introduces you before you even say a word. That's why it's so important to focus on quality, on doing things with excellence even when no one is watching. Because someday, your results will walk into rooms your words could never enter. They will open doors, create opportunities, and earn respect on your behalf. So don't rush the process. Let your actions build your story. Let your consistency do the talking. And while others are busy proving themselves through words, keep perfecting your craft. Because the day will come when your work stands up and speaks for you with a voice the world cannot ignore. Step 3, silence is power. During growth, silence is power during growth because it protects the most delicate and transformative stages of your journey. When you're evolving, not everything needs to be announced. The seed doesn't shout about the roots it's growing underground. It simply focuses on becoming strong enough to break through the surface. The same is true for you. There's a sacred strength that builds in silence, away from the noise, away from the opinions, away from the distractions that try to pull you off your path. Silence gives you space to think, to listen to your own intuition, to refine your purpose without the interference of judgment. It's in the quiet moments that clarity is born, that strength is formed, and that your next level begins to take shape. When you stay silent during your growth, you learn the power of patience. You stop craving validation and start trusting the process. You realize that real transformation takes time. It's not about being seen, it's about being ready. People might wonder where you went or why you're so quiet, but they won't understand that silence is your strategy. It's where you realign your priorities, correct your mistakes, and heal from the noise that once drained you. Growth doesn't always look like progress on the outside. Sometimes it looks like stillness, like withdrawal, like solitude. But deep within that silence, something magnificent is taking form. A stronger mindset, a deeper confidence, a clearer sense of purpose. Silence also protects your dreams from premature exposure. When you talk too soon, you invite doubt, criticism, and energy that can weaken your belief. But when you guard your growth with silence, you let your energy build undisturbed. You learn to move with wisdom instead of impulse. You let your results, not your words, announce your evolution. The power of silence lies in its ability to create focus. It shields you from distraction, helps you hear your own inner voice, and allows you to move intentionally toward what truly matters. So while the world keeps making noise, you stay still and build. Let others post, shout, and seek validation. You remain grounded in your quiet work, because silence doesn't mean weakness. It means direction. It means you're too focused on becoming to explain yourself. And one day when your growth finally shows, they'll realize that your silence was never emptiness. It was preparation. Step 4, comparison kills focus. Comparison kills focus because it takes your eyes off your own path and places them on someone else's journey. The moment you start comparing your progress to another person's, you lose sight of your own purpose. You begin to measure your worth by standards that were never meant for you. It's one of the quietest traps of self-doubt. It convinces you that you're behind, that you're not enough, that you should be somewhere else by now. But the truth is, no two timelines are ever the same. Every person's growth is unique, shaped by different challenges, lessons, and seasons. When you compare, you disconnect from your own rhythm and lose the joy that comes from genuine progress. You forget that what's meant for you will never pass you by, no matter how long it takes. Focus thrives in gratitude. When you're grateful for what you have and for how far you've come, you stay centered in your own lane. But when comparison creeps in, your attention scatters. You start chasing what looks good instead of what feels right. You make decisions out of insecurity instead of intention. You waste precious time looking sideways when all your energy should be directed forward. The person you're comparing yourself to might be at a different chapter of their story, and that doesn't make you late. It just means your season is different. Growth isn't a race, it's a personal evolution. You can't rush it, and you can't copy it. Comparison doesn't just steal your focus, it steals your peace. It makes you question your abilities, your progress, and even your dreams. But when you shift your perspective from comparison to inspiration, everything changes. Instead of seeing others as competition, you start seeing them as reminders of what's possible. You begin to use their success as motivation rather than as a mirror for your shortcomings. Your power returns when you stop trying to be better than others and start striving to be better than who you were yesterday. Stay committed to your vision, your pace, your growth. Every step you take with focus brings you closer to the person you're meant to become. The world doesn't need another copy, it needs your authenticity. And you can only give that when you stop comparing and start creating from your own truth. Step 5, results. Demand patience. Results demand patience because true growth is never instant. Everything meaningful in life takes time to build. A strong body, a stable mind, a purposeful career, or a peaceful heart. But in a world that celebrates speed, Patience has become rare. Everyone wants quick progress, instant validation, immediate reward. Yet the things that come fast often fade just as quickly. Real success isn't microwaved. It's slow cooked through consistency, effort, and endurance. Patience isn't about waiting and doing nothing. It's about working steadily while trusting that what you're building will bear fruit in its own time. It's the quiet faith that your effort isn't being wasted even when results aren't visible. Growth happens in silence, and the process tests whether you truly believe in what you're doing when the world offers no applause. Patience also teaches humility. It reminds you that the universe doesn't revolve around your timeline. There's a rhythm to everything, and learning to flow with it is part of mastery. Impatience is born from fear, the fear that things aren't happening fast enough, the fear that maybe you're falling behind. But patience is rooted in trust. It knows that divine timing is never late, and that every delay carries a hidden lesson. When you rush the process, you rob yourself of depth. You might get the result, but you won't be strong enough to sustain it. Patience allows you to grow into the person capable of holding the blessing. It builds emotional endurance, maturity, and resilience, qualities that no shortcut can teach. Every season of waiting has a purpose. While you're waiting, you're not being ignored. You're being prepared. The challenges that frustrate you are shaping your strength. The silence that scares you is cultivating your character. Results demand patience because they require you to keep showing up when motivation fades, to keep believing when nothing seems to change. It's not easy, but it's necessary. The flower doesn't bloom the day it's planted, and neither do you. You're growing roots first, the kind that will hold you steady when success finally arrives. Because when it does, you'll realize that the waiting wasn't a punishment, it was preparation. And that patience was never about the delay, it was about the development happening within you all along. Step 6, when the spotlight comes, be ready. When the spotlight comes, be ready. Because opportunity doesn't wait for preparation. It only magnifies who you already are. Many people dream of recognition, of being seen, of finally having their moment. But few understand that the spotlight doesn't create greatness, it reveals it. The time to prepare is not when the world starts watching. It's in the quiet, unseen seasons when no one is clapping, when no one is paying attention. That's when your habits are built, your discipline is tested, and your character is shaped. The stage doesn't make you stronger. The training behind the curtain does. When the light finally finds you, it will expose everything. Your strengths, your weaknesses, your work ethic, and your truth. That's why you must spend the hidden years mastering your craft, building integrity, and staying grounded in purpose. The spotlight has a way of amplifying everything. If you've built your foundation on patience, humility, and hard work, it will illuminate that strength. But if you've been cutting corners, seeking shortcuts, or chasing attention without preparation, it will expose that too. Fame, recognition, or success, they don't change you, they reveal you. The spotlight isn't the reward, it's the test. It's the moment when everything you've been working toward is placed before you, and how you handle it determines whether you sustain it. When you're truly ready, you won't be overwhelmed by the attention because your focus will remain on the mission, not the noise. You'll understand that the spotlight is not for showing off, it's for serving with excellence. That's why every quiet season matters, every unnoticed effort, every disciplined choice, every small act of consistency. They're preparing you for the moment when the world finally pays attention. Readiness isn't built overnight. It's a product of showing up faithfully when no one's watching. The more you refine yourself in private, the more effortless you'll shine in public. Because when the spotlight finally turns towards you, there won't be time to rehearse. The moment will demand everything you've been building in the dark. So keep preparing even when it feels like no one sees. Keep learning, keep refining, keep becoming. Because the day the light finds you, you'll realize it wasn't the world's approval you were waiting for. It was your own readiness to rise to the moment that was meant for you. So, as you walk away from this message, remember, the world may not see your effort right now, but that doesn't mean it's wasted. Every late night, every quiet step, every unseen act of discipline is shaping something powerful within you. Don't chase the spotlight, prepare for it. Don't rush the recognition, become worthy of it. Your time will come, and when it does, it will be undeniable. Keep your head down, your faith strong, and your focus locked on your own lane. Because one day, when the world finally turns its eyes toward you, they won't just see your success, they'll feel your strength, your patience, and your growth. And that's when you'll realize the focus was never really on them noticing you. It was always on you becoming who you were meant to be.